This is Daughter of Christ. The woman you can see here is a member of parliament in the UK. Her name is Naz Shah. And last Sunday, she took advantage of the political correctness that silences her fellow MPs and made a mockery of International Women's Day by standing and praising the most woman-hating false prophet in history. Now let's look at some of her statements, which she makes without quoting a single verse or hadith to support them, which is amazing for someone who's so inspired by Muhammad to fail to quote anything he said. Something we are used to from Muslims, grand claims with nothing to back them up. 1. She says Muhammad empowers her to stand as a British Muslim woman, which is the first lie. Muhammad would actually condemn her for living with kafirs and for carrying the label of a kafir nation, or being loyal to it in any way. And this is mentioned in many hadiths, like Tirmidhi 1604, Sunan Abi Dawud 2645, and Sunan Nisa'i 4177. Now let's look at one of those hadiths. And notice, Naseem, if you're watching, that we're actually quoting a source when we want to support our statement. What a concept. So the hadith here says, Muhammad says, I am free from every Muslim that lives among the idolaters. The Arabic is saying, أنا بريء من كل مسلم يقيم بين أظهر المشركين, which literally means, I am innocent of any Muslim who lives with unbelievers. Now, to say I'm innocent of someone in Arabic is an expression to mean that that person does not belong to you. So this means that any Muslim living in kafir lands with unbelievers does not belong to Muhammad. Now, you may say, but millions of Muslims live in Western countries. Well, they are disobeying their prophet. Welcome to the reality of Islam, which most Muslims don't follow properly. And to further prove this, we will have a look at the opinion of Muslim scholars that actually support this. It says, it is haram to settle among the mushrikeens and in their land. Do you hear this, Naseem? It is haram to live in Britain and call yourself British because it is a kafir land. Unless, of course, you have a plan and agenda to spread Islam in that country, which is what you seem to be doing, praising Muhammad in parliament. Second, she says Muhammad gave women voting and democratic rights. Another bold-faced lie. Naseem, please tell us anywhere in any hadith or verse where Muhammad says women can vote. The truth is, neither women nor men can vote. Ordinary people are not given voting rights under Islam. And to prove this, here is what Muslim scholars have agreed regarding democracy as a system. It says, democracy is a man-made system, and so it is against Islam, as it gives legislative rights to human beings and not Allah. And it says, the democratic system is one of the modern forms of shirk. Do you hear this, Naseem? Shirk, the one unforgivable sin in Islam, to associate and make people equal with Allah. Because since only Allah has the right to lay the law, to give human beings votes and to make laws is to make them equal to Allah and thereby commit shirk. And this is supported by Surah 12 verse 40, 6 verse 57 and 5 verse 50. So you, Naseem, as a British MP, are participating in a system that is steeped in shirk and so have taken yourself out of Islam. And talking of acting against Islam, where is your hijab, Naseem? And for someone who claims to be so inspired by Muhammad, you sure don't follow many of his rules, do you? 3. She says, Muhammad gave women marital rights and inheritance rights. Now, at this point, I'm convinced that Naseem is laughing at us, that she's not being serious. Which marital rights do you mean, Naseem? Do you mean the right to be married as a child and even divorced as a child, like in Surah 65 verse 4? Or is it the right to be one of 4 wives if your husband desires it, Surah 4 verse 3? Or is it the right to be beaten by your husband if he even suspects you'll disobey, Surah 4 verse 34? Or is it the right to inherit half of what your brother inherits for no other reason than you being a female and him a male, Surah 4 verse 11? Your brother, Naseem, even if he happens to be a loser, still stands to inherit twice as much as you even you, as a respected member of parliament, will ever inherit. Never mind your character, never mind how much you love Muhammad and how much you lie to raise his profile. When it comes to him and his religion, all that counts is your gender, the ultimate sexism. And you chose him to talk about on International Women's Day of all days. Naseem, I think I know why you're doing this. You think you're doing God a favor. You thought if you honor his prophet, that hopefully one day he'll let you into that brothel he calls paradise. Please wake up. It is not God, and that is not his prophet. Far be it from God to be the author of such nonsense. You say peace and blessings be upon Muhammad. You send him peace, but what has he given you? I can tell you, as someone who lived as a Muslim woman for years and actually wore the hijab, unlike you, followed the religion, not just talked about it, Muhammad gave me nothing, but Jesus gave me his life. Jesus never took a woman. He never owned a slave. He had nowhere to lay his head. He didn't come for himself. He came for us, to save us. And he doesn't ask us to send him peace. He gives us peace. And he is the truth and the real God. And you would do much better, Naseem, to honor him in an assembly. Thank you.